Hey everybody, this is Kevin Bachelder, and we're both still on our Comic-Con highs from, was it last week?
No, it's been a week and a half now.
Wow, time flies too much, and I'm 54 today, so I'm older.
Yes, and happy birthday to you, Zenny.
Hey, thank you, I appreciate that very much. From one baldy to the other, much appreciated.
We made it, right?
Yeah. Hey, let's recap. First of all, tell my viewers, I want to talk about Wynonna Earp first of all, and tell my viewers again who may not know about the show and how you got interested in it and the graphic novel. So, yeah.
Sure. Yes, Wynonna Earp is a show that just aired on the Sci-Fi channel in the spring, 13 episodes. It's based on a comic done by Bo Smith originally in the 90s, so it was adapted for TV by the showrunner is Emily Andrus, who I've known for several years because she was the showrunner on Lost Girl for a couple of years. She's also written for Lost Girl and Killjoys, so she's got a strong genre background. So it was a show I had on my radar, and when I got a chance to check out the first couple of episodes from Sci-Fi, I got some early screeners. I absolutely adored it, so I said I just have to engage with this show and the fandom, so I decided to start a podcast for it.
And you've been, how many episodes of the podcast do you have up now? Quite a few, right?
Yeah, well, we covered every single episode as it aired, 13, plus we interviewed almost the entire cast and the showrunners, so I think we've done about 25 episodes so far since things only kicked off in March. It's only been a few months.
And all that led to Comic-Con, because you normally go to Dragon Con, right?
Yes, I'm ramping up now for Dragon Con. I've gone there for the past 11 years, but this past San Diego Comic-Con was the first time I was at San Diego, so it was great to kind of get that flavor for it, because I've been so aware of it. So many of my friends go. I was always curious what it was like.
Yeah, and happy to room with you, even though I didn't see much of you. I know.
Yeah. But I took that as a great sign that we were both having a blast, because we just barely passed each other.
Yeah, I think my common hours were like 8:30 to 2 a.m.
Yeah. It was rare that we were both in the room with the lights on, because one of us was asleep and the other one was coming in or coming out, because we had slightly different schedules. But every time it was like, oh, I'm having a blast, I gotta run. The same thing for me. So.
Hey, so how was it for you? What'd you think?
Oh, it was great. Now, I didn't have the typical San Diego Comic-Con that a lot of folks do, meaning like doing a whole bunch of panels or going to a bunch of different events. We very much were there, Bonnie and I, my podcast co-host, because of the awesome people at IDW Entertainment. They actually got us our badges to thank us for supporting the show, and also so we could cover the Wynonna Earp cast events and fan events. We did nightly podcasts for the fans who couldn't be there. We did some periscopes from the different events, again, for the fans who couldn't be there to actually see the cast and what they were doing. So we were very much focused on that. And even though I checked off a whole bunch of events in the Comic-Con app, and I thought I might get to some, we just ended up following so many other fans around that became our focus for the weekend.
What was your impression of the people there? I mean, what was the first thing that hit you when you dived into the convention and everything?
Well, I was very happy to see that the atmosphere and the people were very much like Dragon Con. It's very much a community right off the bat. Very comfortable. I mean, obviously, with over 100,000, whatever it's at now, 130,000, all in the convention center or nearby, you got to kind of get used to that. Not that Dragon Con isn't just as big or close to it. It's a different style of crowd, because Dragon Con's a little more spread out with 5 hotels. But no, I felt very comfortable. I had great experiences, whether it was sharing Uber rides or on the trolley or whatever. The people, very comfortable at lines or hanging out. So in that sense, I was very pleased that it was very similar, and that we all, I say we, us geeks or nerds, really are very comfortable with each other right away, even if we don't know each other yet.
How was the cast to interact with? Did you have dinner with them or hang out or?
The cast was great. The wonderful thing about the show, many of the actors in the show, they're fairly early in their careers, so they haven't had a lot of exposure yet. So this was, the exciting part was seeing them interact with the fans. This was their first chance to go to a convention since the show has aired, and they've been getting a lot of very positive reviews and praise for it. And IDW was wonderful, and they gave us backstage access to the cast, so we could talk to them, before they went out for their meet and greets, or before their big panel at Comic-Con. And that was very special to be able to do that, because they were great people, and we were able to capture a lot of that for the fans. So it's wonderful to be able to bring a lot of people who couldn't come to San Diego, have a flavor for it through those events, and because of IDW's generosity in giving us that access.
Hey, can you talk about IDW's role? Because a lot of people don't know anything about IDW, who they are, what they do.
Sure. IDW, many people may be aware of them for the comics they've done, many over the years, but they also have an entertainment division that produced Wynonna Earp, and is producing it because it was just announced at Comic-Con that they're going to have a season 2. They're also producing the show that's coming up in the fall on BBC America called Dirk Gently, which is a property of Douglas Adams. Many folks know from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Right.
That show stars Elijah Wood, and I think it's premiering in October. So they're producing that show as well. So they're branching out into more than, doing my air quotes, comics. They do a lot more there. But so their entertainment division is the one that was wonderful to us. A lot of great people I got to meet at their booth. You know, they had cast signings and a lot of things to do on the floor. They were wonderful.
It sounds like, to me, they, just from my 7 years of Comic-Con experience, they're a lot more sensitive to fan media than the norm, because the norm is you don't usually have fan podcasters or bloggers, you know, with that kind of access, which I think is, personally, I think is the way it should be, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Did they find you guys out, or did you contact them, or how did that work?
Well, we, during the podcasts that we were doing, along with, we also, Bonnie and I hosted a after show on Friday nights after the episodes aired, using the Service Lab video service, much like a YouTube Hangouts or things like that.
Right.
And the cast was so wonderful and very interactive in the live tweets. They also, many of them, popped onto those video Hangouts with the fans, along with the showrunner, Emily Andrus, coming in as well. So we had a great relationship with those folks, having interviewed them too. And the folks at IDW popped into some of those as well. So they saw what we were doing. And they're, you know, not the biggest media company in the world. So I think they saw how much we were supporting the show and how much we were all engaged together, and reached out to us to realize this is a win-win.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have the biggest marketing budget in the world, and here's some folks who are really working with the fans, so they supported us, we supported them. It was a win-win.
Bravo to IDW, because I got to tell you, Kevin, that is not common. It really is not.
Right.
It should be, but among the students today, that's not common, so I applaud IDW and your experience.
Yeah, no, I really do. I can't thank them enough, not only just for the access quote they gave Bonnie and I, but just their approach with the fans. It's been very engaging. They really are, both on Twitter and in social media, very smart, like you said. Saying nowadays they realize, hey, we need to get the fans into the show and to talk about it, and that's part of what goes on in terms of what we're doing.
What makes the show so popular?
I think part of that has to do, at least for me, you're looking at the writing, the characters that are created on screen. It's not your average show. It's a supernatural type show where you have a very unreal situation, but the people in it seem very real. So you really get attached to them and the journey they're going through. And the writing, again, Emily and her other set and the writers are doing such a great job. It's got heart. It's a little snarky. It's got a little attitude. But you really, it's the attachment to the characters that I think a lot of folks really gravitate to.
Now, in closing minutes, I got to ask you, what's the wildest thing you saw at Comic-Con?
Wildest thing I don't know. I didn't really see anything crazy because I didn't end up at many of the bars or the after parties where I thought I might have seen some of that. So I really didn't see anything crazy other than just tipping my hat to those folks who are willing to camp out overnight to get into these panels. The dedication that it takes to do that. I heard from many folks that this was one of the worst weather situations in terms of temperature and mugginess. So it had a lot to do there. So otherwise, I was very good. It just depends on, you know, the situation of what you're doing.
Coming back next year?
I think it's a little early to tell. I'm not sure. I'd certainly love to. I had a great time.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it works out that you do, and we'll But in closing, tell them how to find your podcast. I know you got to get back to it.
Well, sure. The Wynonna Earp stuff, if folks are interested in that, it's very simple at WynonnaEarpPodcast.com. or on iTunes. The name of the podcast is Tales of the Black Badge. Just search for it in your podcasting software. And I also cover all kinds of genre shows on our primary podcast every week at tuningintoscifitv.com.
Wow. Hey, did you watch Sharknado by chance?
Absolutely. I'm a B-movie fan, so no doubt about that.
I interviewed Caroline Williams, so she was in Sharknado 4. So.
Yes. Excellent. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with those movies.
Oh, boy, that's something else. Well, I could talk to you about, because I just popped up with like about 10 other questions, but we'll do it again.
Absolutely, Sonny. It was a lot of fun getting to meet you. That was a great example of where Comic-Con is so great, just meeting up and being roommates and being able to hear about each other's experience, too, because then I get to see more of the con that I didn't attend.
Yeah, it's something. It really is something else.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, Clevin, before I close out, I'm going to get this up today.
Okay.
I just woke up a little... I don't know, I just got a sleep problem. You know, I think probably part of it is like with Comic-Con, because my mom pointed this out to me. She said, you know, you get revved up, and I think for Comic-Con, I knew I was going to be able to sleep, you know, subsequent to that. But it's like I literally worked out in the gym and pushed myself to do what I did at Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. But I got my physical tomorrow at 10, so I have a better idea of what's happening. Oh. But I just have a problem going to sleep without sleeping pills, you know, or I think in case of Comic-Con, I just sort of pushed myself, and so by the time I came in, I just kind of went boom, and then, you know, I was up again because I was excited, you know, I was like, you know, carrying through. But without that, and then I have a client that, you know, contacts me like I'm on-call doctor, you know. But yeah, wow. But I just, I see all that to say, I'll get this up today. I got the rest of it.
Okay, just let me, tag me and I'll get it spread around there too for you, Sonny.
You got it, man. I'll see you.
Awesome. All right, good luck tomorrow.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay, keep you posted.
Okay, I will. All right.
All right, talk to you later.